My name is Sadé.
Zahir Motara.
Amber De Sylvia.
Jerome Hoyt.
I'm Crystal Holder and I'm in studio with Sports Therapy 101.
Well, I started running at the age of 8 years old at the Grantley Parsonage Primary School. And after winning most of my races against the older girls at school, they selected me to run at knapsack. I was pretty successful at knapsack, ended up going to the Lodge School, where I represented the Lodge School for 6 years up until the first year sixth form. I then got an athletic scholarship, a full athletic scholarship to Illinois State, where I represented them for 4 years. And I was able to win both indoor and outdoor for all 4 years, so I was undefeated in the 400 meters. And after that, my last year at Illinois State, actually I qualified for the World Championships in Russia to represent Barbados, where I participated in the first round of the 400 meters. After that, I went to a number of other meets representing Barbados, namely the PanAm Games, CAC, which was most recently PanAm Games in 2019, where I broke the 800 meter record that was held for about 10 years or so by Sheena Gooding. Seeing the media reports after breaking the national record and then after retiring from track and field, I was pretty hurt at first, but I had to keep thinking about how my friends and my family made me feel about both the different situations and keep that in mind rather than focus on that, because that can be really disheartening. And it was pretty disappointing after I was called personally to give an interview. I found that really, really hurtful, and to think that I gave a really heartfelt interview to them and they changed the outcome and the outlook of it to that kind of negative perception was disappointing. For younger athletes dealing with the bad media reporting and the turning positives into negatives, I would tell them to focus mostly on the positives and on what your family and friends and your biggest supporters have to say more than people you don't know or strangers, because it's going to be really disheartening as you go forward, and it could be really demotivating as well. So just focus on the positive, and I think you'll be fine in that aspect. This is where the public get their sports news, so I think they look for reporters for everything that's going on in sports in Barbados, and to look and see that negative kind of feedback. That's going to discourage them from possibly coming to meets, going to matches, whatever you may have that's going on in sports in Barbados. Also, it can discourage athletes from trying to get into whichever sport they're interested in, because possibly wouldn't want to get wrote about like that in such a negative manner. So I think focusing more on the positives rather than negatives is going to help a lot with furthering sports in Barbados. With my professional career, actually that's partially why I decided to retire as well, because I'm ready to move on to the next chapter of my life. I'm poised to be entering a position of leadership at work, and I want to put more of my focus into that. I want to put my all into something else and be as great at it as I was at track and field. My name is Sadé. I am the 800 and 1500 meter record holder for Barbados, an Illinois State Hall of Famer, and I was in the studio with Sports Therapy 101.